Once again, hi everybody. Let's dedicate this video to the aspect of breathing. Many of us know that the people who don't have much control over their speech, maybe they speak fast, maybe they speak quite choppy, they also often don't have a good amount of control over your breath, which means that if you're able to develop a greater amount of control over your breathing, generally your speech starts to get better because speaking and breathing are very closely linked. In fact, you can't speak without breath, you can't speak without air. So, how can we gain back the control over our breathing? As simple as it sounds, constantly remind yourself to breathe more while you're speaking. Not just once, not just twice, not three times, not four times, and I'll not keep going on with the counting, but as many times as you can. Because our natural instinct when we struggle with breathing and speaking is to breathe very short, is to breathe very shallow, is to breathe less frequently. So we need to constantly remind ourselves to do the opposite of that. What? We need to breathe more frequently. We need to breathe more deeply and try to also breathe slowly because it helps you feel relaxed, it helps you feel at ease, and you can slowly fill up your lungs until you're ready to say the next phrase. Remember, breathe more frequently, first thing, breathe more slowly, second thing, and you can just flip them around. And breathe more deeply is the third thing. So it would sound like or look like a breath like this. So the more you can remind yourself to breathe more, the more you can remind yourself to use your new speaking style. In fact, me and Michael, we have worked with various clients, and many of them have said that sometimes just the aspect of breathing gets us back into our new speaking style. We remind ourselves to breathe, and it gets us into our new speaking style. As soon as we breathe, we start to extend and blend, we start to model, we start to do this, we start to do that. So, breathing often works as a trigger to your new speaking style. So the more you remind yourself to breathe, the easier it will be for you to use your new speaking style. Once again, breathe more deeply, breathe more frequently, and breathe more slowly. There is also a breathing exercise that we have inside the system that you can do more and more of all day long whenever you get time. It's really easy. It's called the 777 breathing exercise, which simply means that you breathe in to a count of seven, you hold your breath to a count of seven, and then you release your breath to a count of seven. Let me show you an example. First, I'll inhale up to a count of seven, then I'll hold my breath up to a count of seven, and then I'll release my breath up to a count of seven. Let's go. Now, what happens with this exercise? The first advantage is that it helps you develop a greater and greater amount of control over your breath. And like we just discussed, the more control you have over your breathing, the better control you would start to develop on your speech. And the second advantage is that it would help you feel more and more relaxed. Breathing medically activates your vagus nerve, which is associated with the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. So, the more you can get yourself into that relaxed, cool, calm mode, the easier it will be for you to speak better. So the more you keep doing this exercise all day long, it's very easy. One time would just take just around 21 seconds. And then you can keep doing 3 to 4 rounds of it in each go. Let's say 3 to 4 in the morning, 3 to 4 in the afternoon, 3 to 4 in the evening, 3 to 4 at night, or whenever you get time. It's really, really helpful. It's also incredibly helpful while you're going into speaking situations. If you go in, do this exercise, and then go into the speaking conversations, presentations, meetings, it would be really helpful because you would be more relaxed and you would be able to remind yourself to breathe more during the act of speaking in that speaking situation, right? Which means that you would have a greater amount of control over your breath, which means that you would have a greater amount of control over your speech. So, this is also something which is really important. So the more you keep doing this exercise and the more you keep getting yourself out there and you keep reminding yourself to breathe more, the more and more your speech will improve because the easier it will be to use and implement your new speaking style. Breathing, extending, and blending often sounds like this. You're breathing in from your nose, filling up your lungs, and then you're exhaling from your mouth. You're speaking over the exhalation, and as you're speaking, you're extending and blending your words, right? Many people think that we can only or we should only breathe from our mouth while speaking because that sounds more natural. Might be right, but while you're working on your speech, I challenge you to try to breathe in a lot from your nose because from your nose, you can breathe a lot more deeply, which can help you fill up your lungs more. And it would also give you some time to relax. So you can have a slight pause. In that time, you can relax, breathe, and then extend and blend your words. It's like speaking over the exhalation as if the words are riding the airflow and you're extending and blending your words as your words are riding the airflow. So it's like inhale, speak over the exhalation, inhale, speak over the exhalation, inhale, speak over the exhalation. And while you're speaking over the exhalation, extending and blending your words, airflow linking, making sure that you're speaking in longer phrases, long enough phrases to allow yourself to flow more with your speech, like we discussed in the last video. If you haven't watched it, it's the last video that I uploaded on this YouTube channel and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Let me know in the comments what further videos you would like to hear about. This channel is for you, and these videos are for you. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.